The legend is back. 2026 Honda CB550 Four finally revealed. This is not just another retro motorcycle rumor, and it's definitely not a random fan render. Because quietly, without big announcements or flashy teasers, Honda may be preparing something that longtime enthusiasts never thought would return. The CB550 Four, a name that sits right between nostalgia and logic. Not too big, not too small, and historically one of Honda's smartest motorcycles ever made. And if the signs we're seeing are accurate, the 2026 Honda CB550 Four could be Honda's most calculated retro move yet. Not emotional, strategic. To understand why this matters, we need to go back, briefly but carefully. Back in the 1970s, the original CB550 Four wasn't built to shock the world like the CB750. It was built to dominate the real world. It was lighter, more affordable, and easier to live with. Yet it still carried the smoothness and prestige of a four-cylinder Honda. For many riders, the CB540 wasn't the poster bike. It was the bike you actually bought and loved. That exact positioning is what suddenly makes the CB540 name extremely relevant again in 2026. Because the modern motorcycle market has changed, and Honda knows it. In recent years, retro motorcycles haven't just survived, they've quietly taken over. Riders are no longer chasing peak horsepower numbers, they're chasing character, balance, and design that feels timeless. And Honda already tested this shift. The CB350 platform proved that smaller displacement classics still sell globally. The CB750 Hornet proved Honda can build a modern, efficient mid-platform. And the CB750 Four rumors proved that nostalgia still carries massive weight. But here's the problem. A full-size CB750 Four revival would be expensive, heavy, and positioned too close to premium retro rivals. That's where the CB550 Four suddenly makes perfect sense. A CB550 sits right in the global sweet spot, big enough to feel authentic, small enough to be practical, and far easier to adapt to modern emissions, weight limits, and cost targets. This isn't about recreating the past, it's about translating it. If a 2026 CB550 Four does exist or is being planned, it would almost certainly be built on a modernized platform, not a brand new engine from scratch. And this is where things get interesting. Honda already has multiple mid-displacement engines that could logically evolve into a four-cylinder retro configuration, not because they need to, but because they can. A compact inline-four around the 500 to 600 cc range would allow Honda to deliver smoothness and refinement without chasing extreme performance. This isn't about recreating the past, it's about translating it. If a 2026 CB550 Four does exist or is being planned, it would almost certainly be built on a modernized platform, not a brand new engine from scratch. And this is where things get interesting. Honda already has multiple mid-displacement engines that could logically evolve into a four-cylinder retro configuration. Not because they need to, but because they can. A compact inline-four around the 500–600 cc range would allow Honda to deliver smoothness and refinement without chasing extreme performance. This isn't about recreating the past, it's about translating it. Too conservative. Which raises an important question. Why would Honda bring back the CB550 Four now? The answer is timing. The global middleweight market is under pressure. Insurance costs are rising. Urban riders want manageable bikes, and new riders want something that feels premium but not intimidating. A CB550 Four would sit perfectly between beginner and enthusiast. More soulful than a twin, more approachable than a leader-class retro. And from a branding perspective, the CB550 name carries just enough history without overshadowing the CB750. That's not an accident. If Honda does revive this model, it wouldn't be marketed as a legendary halo bike. It would be marketed as the smart choice. And that's far more dangerous to competitors, because riders don't argue with logic. Design-wise, expect restraint, not excess. A round LED headlight, classic proportions, clean side panels, and subtle modern tech hidden beneath a timeless silhouette. No overdone chrome, no fake aging, just honest retro. Honda doesn't need to shout here. The name does the work. And here's the part most people overlook. A CB550 Four revival wouldn't just be about this bike. It would be a signal that Honda is rebuilding its CB heritage from the center outward. Not top down, not bottom up, but right in the middle where most riders actually live. And if that happens, the retro market doesn't just get another motorcycle. It gets reorganized. Because suddenly, every manufacturer has to respond not to nostalgia, but to balance. And Honda has always been best at that. Now, will Honda officially reveal a 2026 CB550 Four tomorrow? Probably not. But the logic is there, the platform capability is there, the market demand is there. And historically, when Honda's logic aligns with market pressure, something eventually appears. Quietly, unexpectedly, and very real. So the question isn't whether the CB554 deserves to come back. The real question is this. If Honda revives the CB554 in 2026, does it become the most sensible retro motorcycle on the market? Or does it finally force a full-scale retro war Honda has been avoiding for years? Let me know what you think, because this one, if it happens, changes far more than just one model. And the next chapter of Honda's CB story may already be closer than it looks.